everybody. I'm Mike Galloway, and I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, what's considered by most to be the birthplace of monster trucks. I'm referring to Midwest four-wheel drive, the home and the headquarters for the king of the monster trucks, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, king of the monster trucks, is sponsored by your neighborhood True Value hardware stores and by Pabst. When someone asks, what do you have? Say, Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer.
It's quitting time. Over the past couple of years, I've had the chance to see all sorts of exciting monster truck competition. From the exciting and grueling mud bog competition the hill climbing, the competitive car crushing, and now the most exciting event of all, monster truck racing. For the next hour for you and the next 48 hours for me, we're going to get a unique glimpse of the behind-the-scenes action as we go on the road with the king and his crew. We're going to go on the road with Bigfoot. But before we go, let's meet the creator of monster trucks and Bigfoot, Bob Chandler. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Mike.
Crew all ready to go?
Crew's ready. The truck is ready. They'll be leaving in a few hours. It's going to be a good weekend.
Well, while the crew finishes the last-minute details before we get on the road, let's take a look at how and when this all began. Back in 1974, Bob Chandler of St. Louis, Missouri, commandeered the family pickup truck and began using it to promote a new business venture, a company called Midwest Four-Wheel Drive and Performance Center. For a little added publicity, Bob and his wife, Marilyn, began traveling throughout Missouri and Illinois, attending different off-road events. They didn't make any money, but they had a lot of people starting to take notice. Eventually, promoters from around the country began booking Bob Chandler's Bigfoot as a side attraction to help fill the seats for other events. No car crushing or aerial maneuvers back then, just a little fancy footwork. That's how it began. One truck, one driver, Bob Chandler and his dream. That was then. This is now Bigfoot, the main event. 2 years have passed since that first truck, and according to Bigfoot's chief design engineer, Bob Pal Freeman, you can never go back.
There's no way a truck we had 8 years ago could do what they're doing today. Because of just the nature of the things he's doing requires a whole lot more strength and durability and reliability than what he was doing from just driving on the street truck, doing an exhibition show, to the competition events we're into nowadays. They're entirely different. I think this is going to become something as popular as any type of NASCAR event or drag race event. We're just now starting to see what these monster trucks can do and what they will do.
These trucks can take this incredible amount of abuse because they're custom built from the ground up. How does one go about building a monster truck? Let's go to the action. glad that's out of the way. Now maybe Jim Kramer, Gene Patterson, and I can get on the road. Hi, Gene. We ready to go?
Yes, sir. We're ready to go.
I'm riding shotgun. We're finally on our way. Heading out with Bigfoot and the crew to TNT's Monster Truck Challenge at the Coliseum in Roanoke, Virginia. This is the first event of this size in Roanoke, so the crowd should be ready. And from what we've heard about the Coliseum and the competition, it's going to be one very tough race. Jim, when you look at a monster truck, probably the most distinguishing thing about the vehicle, it says I'm a monster truck, it's got to be the giant tires. Where do these tires come from?
These tires are originally developed for commercial liquid fertilizer spreading machinery used in the Midwest and some of the western states in a very large farm. Each tire can carry over 10,000 pounds. A monster truck only weighs 15,000, so one tire can almost support the weight of the whole truck.
How long will a set of these tires last in competition?
In competition or just general use, I have gotten as much as 2 years out of a set of tires, knock on wood, and I've also got as little as a month out of a brand new set. It really depends on how you hit the car. If you land on the car strong, you're going to come in contact with the windshield post, antennas, and a few other things that can really take one of these tires and cut it wide open and ruin it.
They're the biggest, most powerful monster trucks in the world, unleashing their awesome power in the hottest new home video, Return of the Monster Trucks. It's raw action on the first monster truck obstacle course ever with Bigfoot, USA 1, Monster Vet, Rollin' Thunder, and more. Plus exciting side-by-side car-crushing drag racing, unbelievable truck crunching. See Awesome Kong crush a mobile home. If you like the original Battle of the Monster Trucks, you'll love Return of the Monster Trucks. You won't believe your eyes as these monsters of the Midway take to the water and much, much more. You've got to experience the ultimate crushing power and thundering action in this all-new video. Return of the Monster Trucks. It's not available in stores, so order yours today. It's dynamite. Call now 1-800-334-1100 to get your copy of Return of the Monster Trucks for just $19.95 plus shipping and handling. Order now and get a monster toy truck at no extra cost. This awesome video is available only through this special TV offer. So call now 1-800-334-1100. For faster service, use your Visa or MasterCard. Call now.
Mr. 4x4, the big boys toy store, has all the accessories, equipment, and all the trimmings for decking your vehicle out. Look for our weekly ads in the auto directory where you'll see specials from helper springs to bug shields to our new line of van accessories. Mr. 4x4, the big boys toy store, where we roll over the competition. 709 West, Riverdale Road, Ogden.
You may be wondering about the colorful vehicle transporting Bigfoot to crew. Well, it's a big responsibility to be a Bigfoot crew member while on the road. You see, you can't drive a monster truck down the highway. They're not exactly considered street-legal transportation.
Hey, don't see that.
So in order to get Bigfoot from one place to the other and do it in a safe, clean, and convenient manner, the crew also drives and must care for a Ford custom-made LTL 9000, built and outfitted specially to haul Bigfoot. The 48-foot trailer not only accommodates the crew with sleeping quarters, kitchen, and bath, it also keeps Bigfoot safe and ready to roar when they reach their final destination. We've been on the road for a little while and decided it was time to top off the tank. Check over the rig, stretch your legs, and take a little break. Hey guys, it's only 3. Let's go have some coffee.
Why don't you go park the truck in the back and we'll get a table. I'll see you guys inside.
Okay.
You buying?
I guess.
All right.
Guys, anything else?
I think this will do it.
Thank you.
Jim, you've got a family at home and youngsters in school, and what do they think of that daddy driving Bigfoot?
I got a boy, he's 3, and he's brainwashed. He loves the truck. He has to go to bed with one and has to wear his Bigfoot t-shirt most all the time. My daughter, she's 7, started school, and first few days of school, they just didn't believe her. because one of the first things they had to do in school was stand up and tell about your family, what your daddy did, what your mom, you know, does for a hobby. And she stood up and says, well, my daddy drives Bigfoot. And everybody went, boo-hoo, you know, I don't believe you. And so they had a parade one day, a little town parade, and they actually get two schools together and parade down Main Street, very small town I live in, 2,400 people. And I brought the Bigfoot shuttle up there and just fell in behind the fire department in the parade and surprised everybody.
Daddy did drive Bigfoot.
He drove the Bigfoot shuttle that day. They all know that anyway.
How many miles do you travel a year?
Probably each rig probably averages about 80,000 miles a year.
And how many shows? I mean, how many shows do you and Gene do?
Gene and I will probably do, say, 45, maybe to 50 shows. Some he'll do on his own, and others we'll do together, some of the bigger events.
I guess it's my turn to buy coffee. Let's get on the road and try some more. Before we left St. Louis, I had an opportunity to talk with Jim and Bob Chandler about their favorite kind of Bigfoot action. And not surprisingly, they all had their favorite events. Jim Kramer, for example, enjoys it down and dirty in the mud.
When I pull up to that line, what goes through my mind is hopefully I've got my engine tuned just as crisp as it can be, developing the most horsepower it can. Did I pick the right spot in that 40-foot area to launch from? Launch is all important in a mud run. Did I pick the bottom of the terrain in the pit? Did I pick the right spot to go through? Is the left front tire going to grab and throw me completely over to the right, almost out of the pit and be disqualified? A lot of those things are running through your mind. Perfect mud pit is one that you can hopefully make it through with and use all your truck. You know what I mean? Make it, but use every ounce of power and every ounce of driving technique you have. I call that a perfect pit.
It took me, I guess, four years before I finally made it over the gravel around the hill. It's a 270-foot high, 70-degree angle pea gravel hill. And at first they wouldn't even let me on it because the truck was too big. It'd tear the hill up, is what they said. And finally, after their events were over, it'd usually be 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, they'd finally let me attempt the hill. I have one truck that I use for hill climbing. It's Bigfoot 1, the original one. And we've got a great big motor in a 640 cubic inch Allen root motor. And it produces a lot of wheel speed, and that's what it takes to kind of keep the tires spinning just all the way up the hill to get over it. I guess it was about 2 years ago I finally got a chance to do it in the daytime, and we went, by the third try, we went clean over the top of it, and it was neat. It's a good feeling. We had 2 cars out in a farmer's field. They let us park it there and try, and drove over the cars twice and videotaped it. We used the videotape in our shop as a promo. You know, people come into the shop to see the videotape. It took us 6 months after I crushed the first set of cars before we do it in front of a crowd. A promoter asked me to do a car crush in front of the crowd, and Marilyn and I talked about it, and he says, no, it's destructive, and it would really hurt the image that we've got. And he finally talked me into doing it, and the crowd went nuts. And all ages, kids to grandmothers, they really liked what we did, so we've been doing it ever since. Things are completely different now. You know, when we first started this car crushing, it was you drove out onto the track and you crawl over the cars, and that was a big thing. Then it slowly progressed where you finally, we did a wheel stand over the cars. Now, Jim Kramer, Rich Hooser, they're racing and they're jumping the cars. They hit the first one and clear 7 of them.
Well, we finally made it to our destination, Roanoke, Virginia. Took just over 13 hours and 620 miles. You know, in just a few hours, thousands of people who have paid to get a glimpse of this star will be inside. Every successful athlete, movie star, or celebrity has their group of dedicated fans. Well, Bigfoot is no exception, and it's captured in the hearts of people from every walk of life and from all over the world. Seems like no matter where Bigfoot vehicles go or what they do, the fans go wild. Why do people shower such affection, attention, and undivided loyalty on this truck? Well, it might be because at a time when red-blooded heroes were getting a little scarce, Bigfoot was developing into a great American success story. And over the years, like any good star, the Bigfoot owners, Bob and Marilyn Chandler, and their crews haven't forgotten their roots. The how and why of Bigfoot's phenomenal success. The Bigfoot family. And that's why for more than a decade, with a fan club of 15,000 members and still growing, much of Bigfoot's time in the spotlight has been devoted to making personal appearances, donating time to charity, and just plain working hard to make people happy.
As far as the Bigfoot fans, I love them. They come out here to see us win, and that puts another burden on top of my shoulders. If I'm crewing for my driver, I want the driver to be only thinking about the race. I want that truck in tip-top shape. If it means, you know, laying on the ground or in a puddle of oil for 25 minutes trying to fix a line or something, just so he can go back in and race again.
The Bigfoot trucks have appeared in all 50 states, Canada, and Puerto Rico. They've performed without prejudice in front of stadium crowds as large as 75,000, or hospitals and children's homes for just one or two. Just about every spare minute in Bigfoot's schedule is devoted to its fans. And all the excitement generated by fan loyalty didn't go unnoticed by the media. The truck has, without a doubt, generated more media coverage than any single vehicle ever built. Over the years, Bigfoot has appeared in countless magazines and newspapers. The story of Bigfoot has been distributed throughout the world. As a matter of fact, the monstrous success of Bigfoot has made a monstrously big business, and that requires special attention from the other owners of Bigfoot, Marilyn Chandler.
I think every year we felt like, you know, this is really great. Here we get to travel, and we're doing what we like, and we've met a lot of great people, and we kept telling ourselves that this is, you know, we have to do as much as we can this year, go to this trip and go on this thing. We just did everything we possibly could because we always thought it was just going to be a flash in the pan. We thought we would do this, and then it would fade out. But every year it kept getting bigger and bigger. We have several employees who just work on the books for Bigfoot, and that's all they do. Not only do you have to get a contract in the first place, you have to figure out the logistics of traveling across the country, how many miles, you know, how many people you have to send out, what type of product you should send for the show, and you have to keep track of all this. And then just the paperwork, and there's a lot of government paperwork that has to be done in any kind of a business. And keeping track of all the employees. And we have about 50 employees, so keeping track of the employees and the time that they're out on the road and trying to make sure that everybody has some time off, and yet keeping up all the qualities of our shows because the guys are on the road a lot and they really work hard. And we want to make sure that our shows are always, you know, top quality. So all that's really difficult to keep track of.
But beyond its commercial value, Bigfoot's status as a silent spokesperson and American hero is constantly being applied by Bob and Marilyn Chandler towards trying to help people and make them feel good. From sharing Bigfoot magic with the patients in hospitals to showing kids that drugs aren't the answer, Bigfoot is larger-than-life proof that dreams can come true. You know, the mania of this monster truck has been growing since the truck made its movie debut back in 1979. The list of movie and television credits made by Bigfoot over the years would make any star envious. From the unforgettable cameo appearance in Take This Job and Shove It, guest appearance in Police Academy 2, That's Incredible.
Competition. On its road to victory, Bigfoot has left behind an incredible path of destruction.
Here's another look at Bigfoot's bruising dash to the finish. Bigfoot has proved once again it's truly the most incredible monster truck.
Ripley's Believe It or Not.
For the crowd, Bigfoot is the ultimate fantasy, a force no traffic jam could ever resist. The tires are 10 feet tall. A 1,000 horsepower engine roars under the hood, and the entire rig weighs 7 tons.
And Cannonball Run 2. The list goes on and on. And these days, real superstardom only comes once you've made it in music videos for MTV.
To be exact, this is not fiction, this is all fact. The man in the back, dressed in black.
Don't go away, because when we come back, it's going to be monster truck racing at its very best. While the crew prepares Bigfoot for tonight's monster truck battle, let's take a look at some of the types and highlights of monster truck competition with Bigfoot.
The monster truck competition, as far as the circuit we're racing right now, it depends a lot on the crew member and the driver. It's like any other type of racing. There's always somebody behind the scenes. The people behind the scenes here are in the shop, and they put a lot on my shoulders when I'm out on the road to keep the truck into the race.
You got to know this story. Each one of these guys has the ultimate respect for the other one, but neither one will give it in. Side by side qualifying, here we go.
A straight course, what we refer to as a bonsai course, the truck is more responsible than the driver is. The driver, all he has to do is hold it straight, whereas if you have turns involved, it becomes a 50-50 street that way. And the driver is more apt to make a mistake and lose the race that way. So it depends a lot on what type of course you're going to race.
There's definitely an element there. You no longer have you in the truck and, say, the mud pit. You have you, the truck, the obstacles, and the other fellow in his truck with his obstacles. That's a whole nother area to contend with. You've got to try to, say, lead the line and run the best race you can without getting any intimidation from him and having that affect you. There's a whole lot of psych that goes on in these monster truck racing. You don't think so, but it's much like staging up for a drag race. He's watching you, you're watching him, you're seeing how you act, seeing who kind of extrudes confidence, who's a little bit leery. You know, you can tell just by looking over at him. You can tell what kind of shape of frame of mind he's in, how he's going to run. Is it going to be hard, or is it going to be easy to beat? A lot of that you can see in a man's eyes.
Now, Jim Kramer's one of the quickest men on the throttle. When that green flag drops, you can bet he'll nail the motor. It's whichever motor comes to life. The Duraliner truck's a little heavier. It may not leave as quick as the Bigfoot truck. It's time for the drag race shootout. Bigfoot's out the lead, but here's the Duraliner giant. Bigfoot, they're side by side. They're side by side. It's a shootout. It's a shootout. It's Bigfoot at the finish. It's Bigfoot at the finish. Well, Rick Hoosier has come around and parked on the line, going back at it immediately. He'll go back to back. He will come up against Barefoot. This ought to be quite a race. Fred, as you mentioned, in the far lane, the little bit of problem, and Fred has got to be going through his mind right now what happened on that pyramid of cars just a moment ago.
Oh, it definitely does. This could very well happen again. If Fred can lead the cars a little bit to the right, I think he can come off that pyramid a lot quicker.
Hoosier's still after him. It's a close race. Hoosier trying to jump him. Barefoot really out of the lead up over the hill. Now, this is where he won it before. It's a tight race. It's tied up. They are just even. Barefoot will not let up neither one of them. Hoosier's going to go for it. Hoosier is going for it. Can he do it? Can he do it? Oh, my heavens. That was a very, very close race. An action-packed race. It's a photo finish. We're going to look at it. This is the last set of cars, and here is the finish high in the air. Barefoot is leading it right there, but I believe that Rick passes him right here. The landing is so critical.
Bigfoot actually passed him in the air. Fred was on the cars first, but he had lost his forward momentum. He didn't charge the cars fast enough. On the other hand, Rick had so much speed going when he hit the cars, his speed never stopped. His momentum carried him ahead of Fred while they were flying in the air over the cars. Great run.
A very good run, and they have declared Bigfoot the winner. It was a photo finish, and Rick Hoosier has been declared the winner of that heat. What a race. It could be an upset tonight. The Skull Bandit truck has really been doing a great job. They've changed the motor in the truck just recently, and for many, many years ran a V12 Jaguar. They've converted over to a 454 cubic inch big block Chevrolet. The truck's light, it's quick, it's agile. He could beat Bigfoot tonight. Look out, look out, here we go. Bigfoot is just flying, but the bandit right there beside him, it's going to be a finish. Photo finish. Bigfoot takes it. That was probably as tough a race as Bigfoot has been in quite some time. The Skull Bandit truck out of California was really on him all the way through, and he tortured that Bigfoot truck. One of the main reasons competition and exhibition events like this are possible is the total attention to safety, both for the drivers and the spectators. Let's take a quick look at some of the ways that the Monster Truck Racing Association, MTRA, is making sure that Bigfoot and other monster trucks remain perfectly safe. Bigfoot driver Jim Kramer explains.
On the inside of the cab is a 3-inch lap belt, a mechanical positive locking device on it. Once you fasten it, it's there. The driver puts on a kidney belt. This does two things. It keeps your kidney supported when you're bouncing. It helps the driver, and also it supports the lower back. Getting jostled around the truck, so it gives a lot of protection to the midsection of your body.
And with the amount of slamming and knocking around a driver must take in a competitive situation, these belts and supports are critically necessary. Right inside the cab here, we have a full roll bar mounted directly to the frame. It is cross-braced and diagonally braced in the back. It's 125 thousandths thick, and we try to keep the structural members as straight as possible to support the weight. It is padded. Wherever we feel the driver might come in contact with the bar, we have the padding on it. And of course, with your helmet and your padding, it'll keep you from getting a headache. The reason we go to such extremes in strengthening the cab and driver area is because of situations like these. I came out of this otherwise dangerous incident totally unharmed. I've driven for a long time. Any time in that seat is time that you are gaining experience. If the truck gets in a precarious situation and you get out of it, you subconsciously, you remember what you did. It's kind of a survival instinct. You know if it goes up on two wheels, you got to make a fast correction, maybe get on the gas, flick the steering wheel, get yourself back down. Then also, a lot of it might be second nature, become second nature, but then again, we use video as a tool. And we will take a situation where I might get in a bad shape, come back and show the driver, show them how to do it. Try to implant this in their head. If they get in this position, make this correction. I've probably learned the hard way. I've been on my side. I've been on my top. I've learned the hard way. These monster trucks, it gets real expensive to learn the hard way these days.
Don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to be monster truck racing.
See this long row of junkers? It's not too tough a road for the famous Ford Bigfoot, but can a regular Ford 4x4 drive over it carrying a Chevy? Watch as the Ford starts to claw over the twisted metal. Only Ford has twin traction beam front suspension, and this year only Ford has a complete line of multi-port fuel-injected engines. Yes, the Ford makes it over the torture road and joins its big brother. Ford, the best-selling pickup in the world. The best-built American truck 7 years running. Built Ford Tough.
Mr. 4x4, the big boys toy store, has all the accessories, equipment, and all the trimmings for decking your vehicle out. Look for our weekly ads in the auto directory where you'll see specials from helper springs to bug shields to our new line of van accessories. Mr. 4x4, the big boys toy store, where we roll over the competition. 709 West, Riverdale Road, Ogden.
Interlink just completed market research proving...
The cars are set and the track's ready. Let's go take a look at it. What are you going to do?
Well, Mike, the way the course is set up, it's short and quick like we talked about earlier. It could be maybe a one-gear track or two-gear track. I've really not made up my mind yet. I need to see what some of these other trucks do.
Right here, top of the hill, will you be wide open on the truck?
Be wide open when I start.
When you start?
Be wide open when I finish. It's that kind of a track.
What do the rules say concerning landing on the cars? What if you miss?
Well, ideally, you have to hit the first car. We have what we call a 2-and-2 rule. The two front tires have to impact the first car. If you land on the stack and bounce off, as long as at least 2 of your tires stay on the stack, you can actually drive down the side of the stack toward the finish line and win. So that's why it's called it 2-and-2. Your two front tires have to hit the lead car, and if you clear them, that's legal too. You can clear all the cars and land with 4 tires on the other side.
Jim, this finish line area still worries me. It still seems real short.
Actually, this is a good finish. You have 2 cars to hit and help slow you down. You hit these 2 cars, they'll kind of break your speed and start getting on the brakes and hope you stop before the wall. Now, if you don't, at least you have a tunnel that you can duck over and go toward the tunnel.
Will you go to the tunnel?
If I have to, definitely. I don't want to impact that wall. The wall always wins.
Well, as you can tell from the crowd response that it's time for Bigfoot. Jim Kramer is considered one of the top monster truck racers in America. He has drawn the number 3 qualifying spot. Bigfoot into the box and gets ready to go to work. Supercharged 460 cubic inch Ford motors. Triple Predator carburetors. Kramer on go. Let's see how he attacks the front. First shot out of the hole. Watch it on the front. Flying over all of them. Cleared the line. Airborne and cleared the line. The sky, and he watched him. We'll wait on a time. It could be one of the toughest to beat. Bigfoot has the quick time of the night with a 4.9, a 4.9 on foot. So that is quick time. Of course, quick time gives you an advantage. The Gravedigger, its rear engine. Top of it. Earth-shattering, ground-pounding pass. Well, the qualifying rounds have been set with the fastest time tonight going to Bigfoot, and he will run the slowest time, which was Lethal Weapon. Then it'll be Rambo versus the Barbarian. King Crunch will run Stomper. Just Showing Off will run Ever Jasmer's USA 1. Quick time, second quick time of the night, goes to the Gravedigger, and he will run Playing for Keeps. So that's the stage as they'll come in and run side by side for an eliminator bracket. Well, the crowd gets into it as first round begins, and Jim Kramer, setting fast time of the night and having lane choice, goes to the odd side of the track. He'll run the Lethal Weapon truck. The times are important. But right now, the winning is the most important thing of all. As they sit on the line, and we'll listen as the motors come alive. It's a one-shot program. Puts down the lead. Kramer's flying him on his nose. Takes it out. It's a Bigfoot win. As the Weapon gets in a little bit of trouble, comes off the right-hand side of the car. So Foot will go outside and qualify for another round. Second round coming up. Well, Jim Kramer qualified with a 472, came back on the second pass with a 456. So you can tell that that side of the track is getting a little bit faster. The even side of the track is showing some signs of fatigue, and it's pulling the drivers off to the right side on their passes. So far in the second round of racing, quick time is owned by Crunch. Look at that. Talk about Crunch. They have smashed them to nothing. Playing for Keeps his stage. He's running the big blown motor of the Gravedigger. Who's it gonna be? Gravedigger. He covers them. I mean, it all. The Gravedigger. And we're running out of cars. That'll just be a short period of time between this round And the winner of this round advancing on to the semifinals. Jim Miller versus Jim Kramer in a pair of Ford trucks. Both of them staged very carefully. Watch for the light to go green. Clock starts then. Who's it going to be? It's the whole shot. It's made all the difference. He wins it. All over the track. A little bit of a rough landing for Jim Kramer. Semi-final round, the quarterfinals. This winner of this will go into the finals, and it's Bigfoot versus Rambo. The Ford has quick time of the night so far, and that is a 4.36. He did it on his last run at a 4.36. Rambo stayed. Bigfoot is stayed. One of these will go home. Christmas tree light in hand. Watch them as they go. Who's it gonna be? Kramer leans on him. Look at that. Shuts it down at the wall. Shuts it down at the wall. You don't get much closer than that. As Bigfoot, Jim Kramer, goes into the finals. They've broken the truck. Well, Bigfoot on a class pass when it came off the cars had to get on the grinders real bad, really running right up to the wall. It looks like that there has been a problem in the hydraulic on the rear steering, possibly a ruptured line. You can see one of the pit men over on the inside making some kind of adjustment. Now, he's got a few more minutes before he's called the final round. He will run if he can get repaired against the gravedigger. A very trying situation. He's had quick time of the night. If they're going to make it into the final round, they've got to do it in a hurry.
Thank you very much. I'm not going to take sides. It's very close. Maybe just a little bit of edge going.
We talked earlier about the ruptured steering line on the Bigfoot truck. The line is a steel line hydraulic hose, but it's actually been cut. When the truck got on the brake, the rear end rolled over and sliced the line completely open, losing hydraulic fluid and wiping out the rear steering. They have gone to the pit area. They're going to repair it, and they'll be back in just a moment. This is the final. Bigfoot has qualified and also ran a quick time of a 4:36 and then a 4:39. The Digger has ran consistent 4:49s all night long. Bigfoot in a familiar lane. Gravedigger in a lane that he has not been in all night long. The two fastest trucks on the premises go head-to-head for the championship here in Roanoke, Virginia. Jim Kramer running 460 cubic inches. He calls that his little motor. It's the foot. The foot pulls it out. Bigfoot pulls it out at the end. He did it in the air. What a finish for what a race. Bigfoot on top all the way. What a final. It was neck and neck, and he passed him right at the line. Bigfoot takes one home. Looks like that when Jim Kramer landed, the right front tire came back around real hard. So it could be another problem for Bigfoot, but at this time of the night, it makes no difference. It's all over with. He does it in a 4:33. That's the quickest anyone has ran the course all night long. It's Bigfoot in the winner's circle tonight. The crowd cheering the king of the monster truck, Bigfoot.
Decision.
From very humble beginnings as a hobby of one man to world-sweeping phenomena as it is today, shaping the face of one of the newest competitive sports in automotive racing. Bigfoot King of the Monster Truck will have a unique and unforgettable place in legend and history. Bigfoot, part Hollywood star, the unflinching hero, meeting all challenges head-on, and part American dream, trying your hardest to win and succeeding against all odds. Bigfoot, King of the Monster Truck, makes the kind of statement that most Americans want to hear. And according to Bob Campbell, the countless hours and days spent making Bigfoot a reality really were worth it.
It's so neat to get out there in front of a crowd and see their reactions, see the kids' reactions mainly. That's what really turns me on. We work here a lot of hours. We work through the night quite often. We turn around and look at each other and say, what are we doing this for? And you get out and do a show, and the kids come up to the truck before and after the show, and it's like an idol to them, and that makes it worthwhile.
A promotional fee has been paid by Gold Eagle, makers of Quantum, the new system of problem-solving formulas engineered to help today's cars run better on today's gasoline.
Last year, 8 out of 10 NASCAR Winston Cup winners all trusted the same brand. Peak.
I got my Matchbox Supercharger automobile. It drives over anything with jumbo wheels. With Matchbox Superchargers, you can go far. Matchbox, the automotive superstar.
Bigfoot, King of the Monster Trucks, has been sponsored by True Value Hardware. More than just a name, it's our way of doing business. And by Ford, and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?